Hello, my fellow Sixers fans. We're at that time of the season where we come to the realization that we're absolutely cooked because we have Doc Rivers as our coach. Yes, he had that lovely stretch where we thought, Doc's actually doing something right. Let's give him his flowers. We might actually be able to do something. Then he reminds us time and time again why his poor decisions and incompetence is going to cost us in the postseason. Now, let me just get right into it, yeah? Paul Reed, I'm not saying he's perfect. I'm not saying Paul Reed is Jesus, but at the same time, he does everything you want from a backup centre. He's even reduced the amount he fouls as of recent as he's got more accustomed to it because you're giving him run. Yet, you see how much he's developing. You see the way he gives you switchability on defense off the bench. And you think, let's go with Dwayne Dedmon against Jokic. Bearing in mind, Paul Reed was holding his own against Jokic and at one point was giving Jokic buckets down low. Now, what makes me really concerned is that we are arriving right before playoff time. And like I said, Paul Reed is not Jesus, which means he's going to make mistakes. But every time Paul Reed makes a mistake, that's always been Doc Rivers' green light to play DeAndre Jordan in the past or play Montrezl Harrell. And now it looks like Dwayne Dedmon, because if I'm being totally honest, Dedmon is terrible. He has no business seeing the NBA floor. He has no business starting the NBA game. And damn it, he shouldn't even be on the roster. I don't see how you're an NBA coach and you see Dwayne Dedmon getting absolutely annihilated inside. Every time an opposing player switches onto Dwayne Dedmon, they're thinking, oh yeah, that's the mismatch I want. He does nothing for you. The only thing he might do is space the floor, but I really don't want to see him shooting the ball either. So what do you gain from having Dwayne Dedmon on the floor? He's a negative on offense, he's a negative on defense, and he doesn't add anything to this team. It seems like every time he sets a pick, it gets called for an illegal screen. And I don't understand how Doc Rivers is on the hot seat in the sense that if he underperforms this season, he might not only just get fired, but so many teams will be so skeptical of hiring his fraud because his track record is honestly terrible. Yet, he still wants to go with these washed, old, unathletic, slow players who can't defend anything and can't do anything on offense. Now, I'm not going to be the rest of Sixers Twitter who absolutely annihilate George Niang because I understand he can't move, he can't defend, but he also brings us back into games at crucial times with his big threes. However, when George Niang's not hitting his threes, he should not be on the floor because he's a negative. I do not want to see a lineup of Tobias Harris, George Niang, PJ Tucker, and Dwayne Dedmon. They can't move. That's a recipe for getting blown by, beaten in transition, and out-rebounded. And if those three things happen, guess what? You are losing. As it stands right now, we are the 3 seed, the Brooklyn Nets are the 6 seed. If it stays the way it is, which if I'm being honest, the Cavs are like 1 or 2 games behind us. So if we keep losing, we might even be the 4 seed. But if we match up against a team like the Brooklyn Nets with that slow lineup and he plays those type of slow 4-5-man units, we are losing that series. If we get the Miami Heat and Doc Rivers F's around like the way he's been doing, we might lose because you can't continue to lose the Joel Embiid-less minutes. You can't continue to not match other teams' athleticism by putting completely unathletic players on the floor because you're going to get bullied and annihilated. I understand that Jaden McDaniels has been a bit shaky. He's very raw. But at the same time, his athleticism and defensive versatility is something that you need on the floor. I'm not the biggest Daniel House fan, but as of recent, he's been very consistent and he's quite athletic. There is no reason for you to have 4 unathletic guys on the court at the same time when you have about 2 or 3 wings at this point who are pretty athletic. It doesn't make any sense. And as for Dwayne Dedmon, he can't play in the NBA. Guys, I'm going to have to say it now. He's worse than DeAndre Jordan because Jordan at least, I can't even say at least, he was terrible. Could maybe grab a rebound or 2. Dwedman's awful. I called him Dwedman. Dwayne Dedmon's awful. I don't really see why Doc Rivers does this every single year. Why he sabotages himself every single year and almost wants this team to fail. Like, it's like Paul Reed wins the backup minutes every year, and if find someone else to bring in. Like, he beat Montrezl Harrell to the job. Why is Dwayne Dedmon here? When Nerlens Noel got bought out, why didn't you go for him? Because he's at least someone who is competent. Like, the decisions this team makes no sense. Because I remember a couple of years ago, we need floor spacing. Well, guess what? Isaiah Joe's one of the best three-point shooters in the league, and he was rotting on your bench for years. We need a backup center that can block shots, rebound. Charles Bassey. It's like, give these guys opportunities, and if they fail, fine. You tried. You can't just keep wasting talent. I'm not the biggest Jaden Springer fan, but you drafted him. It's been nearly 3 years, and he's not gotten any legitimate NBA run. That's either saying you didn't do enough scouting on the player, you took a punt on him, which was uneducated, or you don't know what you're doing. Because one thing Jaden Springer can do is guard the perimeter very well. At least give him spot minutes here and there. I don't understand the lack of development, the lack of overall direction with this entire team. And there's no continuity. How can you expect us to be a cohesive unit in the postseason where 1 minute the rotational guys off the bench are playing with Paul Reed? Oh no, now it's Montrezl Harrell. Oh, now it's Dwayne Dedmon. It will be comforting to know for DeAnthony Melton that, if this guy blows by me, I got someone like Paul Reed who can switch on to him and it won't be a mismatch mayhem. But no, you got Dwayne Dedmon now. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, what are you actually going to do? This is the time in the season where you should have your playoff rotation down and you get as many reps as possible. So when it comes to the postseason, it's not just praying for the best. I will never understand, like last season when Paul Reed did not play the entire season. You make him your backup center for the Toronto Raptors series. You win the series, then bang, DeAndre Jordan starting when Embiid gets injured. It makes no sense. So, Doc, if you fuck up one more time, that might be your own coaching career done. And the Sixers, you're just wasting another year of Embiid. I'm not even scared of Embiid leaving. I feel like he'll be a Philadelphia 76er for life, basically. James Harden will walk. If you get bounced out in the first round, why should James Harden stay? And even if you guys think, Harden's washed, we're hard capped. If James Harden walks, we don't have the money to get another max player. We're fucked. So this is a very crucial season. Doc, don't fuck it up. And as a whole, don't fuck it up. That's all I got for this video. I'm out.